Okay, so our next movie that we are going to review, I saw it, Chris did not, is Disenchanted. Disenchanted is the sequel to Enchanted, which was the 2007 film starring Amy Adams. Disenchanted is on Disney Plus right now. This is 15 years after the first film. I liked Enchanted. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I did. Years ago when it first came out. It's been forever since I last saw it. I've seen little pieces, but not the whole thing again since then.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I thought it blended kind of humor very well. The whole story of that one was where you had like, what if there was a real happy, like fairy tale world that you see, like from Beauty and the Beast or from Snow White, and what if somebody from that world, like one of those princesses, teleported to the real world and interacted with that. And that's what kind of happened in Enchanted, where you had that. We had the Amy Adams character, who is this traditional Disney princess type character. She can talk to animals, and she bursts out into song every single time, and is always very cheery and very, sweet and everything like that. And she, gets into a romance with the Patrick Dempsey character. So I thought it did well with that, and did well with that format, and it was kind of a fun little twist on what we kind of see, kind of a romantic comedy kind of stories. Here in the sequel, the opposite happens. So, when at the end of the first movie, you thought, well, hey, everything's good. They've gotten together. They've married Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey, and they're gonna live their life in happiness, and everything's gonna be great. But then you start to realize that, wait, life is hard. Adulting is kind of fucking sucks. Maybe it'd be better if I was back in the fairy tale world, because in the real world you got shit like rent and bills, and you know what I mean. Now you got a new baby. Taxes, yeah, you know what I mean. Now you got a new baby you got a baby, and then that comes with all the different challenges of it crying and sneezing and all this other stuff. And then on top of that, you got a bratty teenage stepdaughter who gets on your nerves and is always sarcastic with you. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe things would be better if we just kind of got back to the fairy tale world and everything like that, where you do have a happily ever after. So that's what kind of she does. I mean, she ends up getting this special gift, this wand, from the character from the last movie, James Marsden, who was the prince in the last movie, who is back here again, Edward, and then you have Idina Menzel, who's Nancy, who's now his queen, his princess here, and they kind of show up and then gift them with a wand that can grant her like a wish, and she ends up wishing that things were back the way they were back when she was in the fairy tale world, and the fairy tale world and the real world start to clash with each other, and it's up to her to kind of stop that. And then you have some new people here. You have Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph is a character who's like, they end up moving, trying to in this new neighborhood, trying to start a new life. She's kind of the, bitchy, mean queen, person of the neighborhood, queen bee of the neighborhood. She's got her even cronies here, who's played by like Yvette Nicole Brown and Jamie Mays. Like you have that kind of traditional type dynamic here, which I don't think was all that interesting. Patrick Dempsey's trying to struggle to adjust. He's trying to commute to his job and struggling to kind of come in there, trying to find purpose of what he wants to do. Amy Adams struggling to try to connect to her teenage daughter, her teenage stepdaughter here, and trying to figure out how things going to work, and trying to do what's best for her, trying to give her a space, but not, also trying to be there for her. So she's trying to find that balance. I think, a lot were worked about the stuff, in the first one. You had a lot of James Marsden in it, who was very good as the prince. I think James Marsden's a very, very talented guy. I mean, he's, good looking guy, but also he's incredibly talented in terms of like he can sing, like he can act. You see him in things like Westworld. You see him in things like Here, where he does some singing performances. Very good with humor too. That was also a thing in the first one, and then back here again, like he's got some good lines in this one too. Because when he shows up to like their new place. He's like, oh wait, are you poor now? Like, you know what I mean? Like the way the line delivery is very good. But I think with this movie, I don't think it is as strong as the first one, because I don't think you have that good I don't think it's is inspired. I think as the first one was, and I don't think it's as maybe clever or smart as the first one. A lot of stuff with Maya Rudolph, who's a good talent. I mean, she's very funny if you've seen her in things of like her career in SNL. I think a lot of her role is just basic, like I said, mean girl, queen bee type stuff, and then the stuff with her bumbling kind of cronies there, which could work. I think if you did a little bit better, because again, that's very reminiscent of fairy tale type stories. If you have like the top evil queen and you got the evil queen's cronies and everything like that, and then Amy Adams, turning in a little bit into more of like an evil type character because she is now a stepmother, and then what happens, like what's the trope of all stepmothers and fairy tales and everything like that? They turn out to be evil bitches themselves, and that's a little good. I think the stuff there, it's a little change of pace for her to play a little bit of a different character for Amy Adams. But yeah, I think besides that, and then some of the stuff there with James Marsden, who shows back up as Edward, I don't think there's anything really too remarkable about this movie or too memorable about it. And Amy Adams, I don't know what is with her in streaming movies. Streaming movies don't seem to do her any favors, because every streaming movie I've ever seen her in, she's been bad in. I don't know, like it's been bad for her. Like this, what was that movie, Hillbilly Elegy? There was.
Jesus Christ, you reminded me of that bullshit right there.
What was that? What was that other movie she did where it was like a mystery movie?
Oh God, Jesus.
Looking.
Woman in the Window.
Yeah, The Woman in the Window. Like that was the Netflix thing. Streaming just doesn't seem to do her any favors. I don't know what it is, but it's just she does not hit well with that type of stuff. And
she's been having a weird run altogether recently. Cause keep in mind, she was also in a horrible movie that was high on my worst of list last year. That was not a streaming movie. This bullshit was in theaters. Dear Evan Hansen. So
she was in that. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. She probably needs to beat the shit out of her agent, because I don't know what is inspiring her to pick this crap. But yeah, it's weird, like how her career has been going lately.
Yeah, and she's talented. She's a great actor. She really is. But I just
yeah. She's one of my favorite actresses. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just the stuff she's been picking lately has just not been good. So with this, like I said, with all the stuff there mentioned, like I actually want to go back and rewatch the 2007 Enchanted movie, because I like I said, I remember really liking it. I thought it was very good. I thought it had some clever, funny moments they did with some of the characters kind of coming into the real world and how they kind of played with that, and like because like I said, because she's following the Disney princess tropes of that stuff. Like what was funny in the first one was like she because she ended up in New York. It was nothing but rats and pigeons and things like that all swarmed her in the house and everything like that. Like, what I mean? Like stuff like that was kind of funny. But them just reversing, and it's like, oh, well, what if the fairy tale world, well, if she went to that, and then they kind of did that. I was like, I'm not so much kind of into that as much there. So yeah, for me, I'd give it maybe a skip it. For me, I don't think you really had it. So even though it's on Disney Plus, I don't think you're really gonna get that much enjoyment out of it all that much. I think you'd be better off just watching 2007 Enchanted instead. I think that has more good stuff in it than this. Yeah, so skip it for Disenchanted.